Hey everybody, it's Oracle684 back here once again with a video. As you can see, the picture's crystal clear because I'm using my cell phone. I forgot to charge my tablet up. I know my tablet doesn't have that great of a video quality, but I had to make do for a little while. But anyways, we're going to get down with my top 10 80s films of all time. Some of these might be very surprising. There's a particular one nobody probably has never heard of. But we're going to go with 10 being, we're going to go from 10 to 1 being my all-time favorite. So we're going to go with number 10, and that is All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise, Craig T. Nelson, and Leah Thompson. What a great film this is right here. And it's about football. It's in a small town about a kid named I'm trying to think what Steph, who is played by Tom Cruise, and his girlfriend, which is played by Leah Thompson, and his football coach, which is played by Craig T. Nelson. Now the whole synopsis is that Steph is wanting to get out of the small town. He's wanting to get out, get a scholarship, and things go south. And you know, his football coach is wanting to get out too. He's got an offer if they'd win the big game, and things go south throughout the second half of the film. But then you get to the third act of the film, which is the final act. Then I'm not going to spoil anything for you. You just got to see it. Definitely a good film. It came out in 1983. One of the golden years. My next one on the list, and also I do have one that's on the list here that I don't own, so we're going to go with 1984's Footloose. Forget that remake that came out. I saw that was terrible. This is the one you want. The one with Kevin Bacon, Laurie Singer, John Lithgow, the late Chris Penn, and Diane Wiest. Very, very good stuff. Small Chicago, a Chicago teen going into a small town where music and dance is outlawed because of a particular event that happened a couple of years back. So the pastor basically runs the town pretty much and says how it is. We're not going to have no music. We're not going to have no dancing. None of that. Very, very good film. 1984, the year I was born. He had some good stuff in that year too. My next one is one that is really talked about. It's never made the jump to, I believe, actual Blu-ray or actual DVD. It's never made the jump to Blu-ray or 4K, and I hope they do it soon because we would all hate to lose this one, or some of us that have seen it. And I'm talking about Oxford Blues, starring, that's right, Rob Lowe, Ali Sheedy, before she was in Breakfast Club. This is right after War Games for her, and this was like right after Outsiders for him. This is not an actual DVD, to be honest with you. This is a DVD download. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a burnt disc because the back of it's like purple. I'm going to show you the back of the disc here. It's like purple. I don't know if that picks up right. But what this is about is Rob Lowe is this car chauffeur or a car valet guy, and he is obsessed with the England's Princess Lady Victoria. Princess Lady Victoria is what I call her, played by Amanda Pays. And he ends up conning his way into going to Oxford, and he gets there. He ends up meeting Ali Sheedy's character, which this is the last time you see Ali Sheedy with long hair. You saw her with long hair in War Games. Because right after this is Breakfast Club. So she has her hair short in that film. But it's a good one. I wish they would upload it onto Blu-ray or 4K, because you'd hate to lose all these films if they don't upgrade them, because once they lose the negatives, these movies are lost forever. But definitely this is one. I might even pick up another copy of this just to have it in the shrink wrap, just to keep it for as a spare. It's a great film. I actually got the poster art right up there in the back, right there. If you guys can see that, right there. So, all right, that was that. Great film, by the way. Next one's my favorite Kevin Bacon film. Not that Footloose wasn't that great. Footloose is a great film, but I love this next one. 1986, Quicksilver. He plays Jack Casey, a stock exchange broker that ends up losing big time in the beginning with the stock exchange, and ends up trading his suit for the bicycle, becomes a bicycle messenger. And what can I say? It's a great film. It also stars Jamie Gertz, Paul Rodriguez. Overall, great film. You got some great music by Roger Daltrey. And if you guys don't know who Roger Daltrey is, where have you been at? He's the lead singer of The Who. One of my favorite team films of the 80s. And it came out in 1984. Quicksilver, starring Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall. Great stuff. This is before Breakfast Club. What this movie's about is Molly Ringwald plays Samantha Baker. She's about ready to turn 16, and everybody in her family has forgot about her birthday. And she is really in love with Jake Ryan, as you can see here right on the cover. I actually got the poster art hanging on the wall over here on this side, framed. I always frame all my posters anyway, by the way, because to me they're special. It's one of those things. It's what I like. So this is a great film, good film, and great film, good film, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's one of the top favorites of mine from 1984. Okay, that was Postman number 4, but Karate Kid. We'll talk about Karate Kid here for a minute. That came out in 1984. Came out June 22nd, and I was born a week and a half before the movie came out. I was born June 10th. That movie didn't come out until June 22nd. The first one is really good. I like part 1 and 3 of Karate Kid. And with Karate Kid, a young kid by the name of Daniel LaRusso, who was played by Ralph Macchio, him and his mom end up moving from their town. I think it's in New Jersey or Boston, if I can remember. Then they go to Reseda, and he gets bullied and picked on because he was trying to help out this girl played by Allie, who was played by Elizabeth Shue, and her boyfriend gets really jealous, Johnny Lawrence, who was played by William Zabka, and a whole rivalry starts there, and the karate stuff gets involved in that, and you get to meet Mr. Miyagi, who's played by the late Pat Morita. Great stuff, great fun. A lot of lessons that can be learned through this Karate Kid trilogy, if you want to include the Hilary Swank one. Pardon my pronunciation on Hilary Swank's last name, but I'm just down here looking at the list here. Great film. Like I said, it can be emotional, tearjerker, especially Karate Kid 2. Alright, so we're going to get down to our third one, and we're talking about none other than Don't You Forget About Me. If you know where that song came from, The Breakfast Club. And I actually got the poster right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the tagline from the poster, so you're going to see me looking up this way. It says, they only met once, but it changed their lives forever. So you got a brain, you got a jock, you got a princess, You got a rebel and you got a recluse. The recluse is my favorite character in this film. That is Allison Reynolds, who was portrayed by Ali Sheedy. I thought that character kind of resembled me a lot when I was growing up in high school. Uh, Brian Johnson, who is the nerd, the smart guy, played by Anthony Michael Hall. I have a little bit of a similarity with him. And then Andrew Clark, who was played by Emilio Estevez. The only thing I have in common with him is the athletic side. The other two, Judd Nelson's character, who was John Bender, and then Molly Ringwald's character, who was played by, who is Claire. She plays Claire in the film. I don't have anything really in common with those two, but the other three I do, but mostly with Ali Sheedy's character, mostly. Because, I was pretty much a quiet guy and just in high school and kind of, I think her character was kind of shy a little bit. But she really did have everybody fooled. I love some of the stuff that she does in the film. It's really, really awesome. If you haven't seen it, you don't know what you're missing if you haven't seen this film. So, and it leads up to my number one favorite teen film from the 80s, which most of these are teen films, like Quicksilver. My number one teen film, and it does star Ali Sheedy and all stars Samantha Broderick, and that is 1983's War Games. Great fun. This definitely will get you thinking about trying to hack into a computer game system, and you actually hack into the war system. And Ali Sheedy plays Jennifer Mack. She's basically Matthew Broderick's character David Lightman's girlfriend in the film, and he's wanting to get his hands on playing these new games from by Protovision, and he hacks into the wrong computer system. It's a government computer system, and then it's about ready to start World War III because he's going to play global thermonuclear war. So it's very, very interesting, very, very fun. This is the one I like. This is on Blu-ray. It'd be awesome if they make this into a 4K and we can get commentary from Matthew and Ali. That would be ideal. But yeah, that is my top 10 teen films of all time. But I did forget one. And of course I'm going by the sheet. But I did my number one. We're going to do my number two. Now my number two is in this box set. Back to the Future. We're going back in time. 1985, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Thomas F. Wilson, Leah Thompson. Wouldn't you guys love to go back in time? I know I would. I would love to go back to the 80s. And just the technology had from 1985. I love Part 3. Some people don't like Part 3 because it's set in Old West, but it kind of grew on me after I've seen it for a little bit. And this is one of my favorites after the original film. I like 2 as well. 2 does use a scene from War Games in it, and that's the tunnel scene where Marty and Biff are battling out with the battle of getting the sports almanac. So Marty's basically trying to get that from him. And there's a whole big chase scene inside that tunnel. So yeah, this is my number 2 film of all time from the 80s. And this is my number 1, so we don't get anything confused. But other than that, guys, that is it. I'll be back here maybe sometime later on tonight to do another video, which will end up leading me into my top 10 Marvel movies of all time. So stick around for that one. It should be a real joy.